Aloha, everyone. Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. What a week it was. I do believe that in the last weekend video lesson I made for everyone, we were under a red flag condition already. So there's nothing really surprising following the end of the week. Where we stand as of right now is day one of a new rally attempt. Each time you violate a previous low intraday when you're in a sell off, that resets the rally attempt. So today is day one. Good volume, but I personally would have liked to have seen a high of day close, maybe a close in the upper half of this candle as well on heavier volume. But beggars can't be choosers. It was a good day. There are some good stocks out there, but yesterday they cracked the last of the leaders showing no signs of weakness, and they finally got them all. But with MU, look at that hammer candle today. I really like that, but I don't like the relative strength line below the 21 EMA. But that being said, at least that is a small positive. And then if we look at this BTC grayscale representing Bitcoin, massive volume. Now, this is what I've been looking for the entire downtrend. Oh, everybody's telling me, oh, this is the bottom, 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 this is the bottom. Okay, well, now we can start talking about a bottom. Now I'm there with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, nice hammer candle intraday reversal with the volume. ETH, not so much. I like GDLC, and I don't see it here either. But Bitcoin, maybe. We'll continue to monitor that. Either way, it is nice to see the hammer candle. But overall, there's work that needs to be done. Even if this is a bottom, I find it very hard to believe we're just going to resume the uptrend. If you look closely here, you can see the 20. This is, by the way, shoulder, head, shoulder breakdown that I drew yesterday. We're about to have the 21 EMA cross below the 50 SMA, which will end the power uptrend on the QQQ and the SPY. What I did like seeing today is that the IWM led, the relative strength line is back above its 21 EMA, and RSP signaling that this rally might be broadening out. Nice relative strength line, as you can see below, above the 21 EMA. Nice volume today. We did close in the upper half of the previous candle. Would have liked to have seen a higher close, but still, overall, very positive action, and it's something to work with IWM. And that's, I believe, these two indices made their moves, or ETFs made their moves, because the odds of a rate cut in December jumped back up to 70% on the CME FedWatch index. So that is definitely good for market participants. Now, listen, a lot of charts have been broken down and look pretty ugly out there. And I said yesterday when they got S and DK that they'll eventually get them all. And even the ETFs that hold up, like XLE, that started to reverse yesterday. Nice hammer today. But I was like, hey, they'll get them all. They tried to hit GDX. Nice rebound today. They tried to hit the defense names. A little bit of a nice candle there. Hammer, I should say, but eventually they get them all with XLU. And I kind of thought that that would be the case with one other one, XLV, and maybe XBI with that volume and that reversal yesterday. But XBI, great session. Look at that relative strength line below, and XLV, amazing session. So this is where I'm focused for right now with the leaders. I mean, there's other stocks that have good chart patterns out there, like AG&C, but that's a REIT stock. I mean, what's it say about the market? HG, that's an insurance stock. AEO, apparel stock. I did like this tech stock, TDC. Doesn't really have the volume requirements that I need on its earnings day. I assume this was earnings here to make my highest volume in 1 year, highest volume ever, or catalyst event watch list. But nice hammer today, nice price bar. Like the strong bop, like the volume, like the pocket pivot point signal. I'll probably regret not taking this one long, but it's not at the 21 EMA, and it's not in the sector that I want to focus on right now, which is medical. And there's just no short of good medical names out there. I mean, also want to show you WLDN. That was a diversified services name that looks good. But, BBIO looks good. GH looks good. WGS looks good. GH, I think I already put that one. KRYS, this is one I'm really stalking for a 21 EMA hammer PHVS is in my weekly squeeze scan. There's not much stocks in there. LQDA, massive sales growth name. Watching this one, BTSG, Breakout, Grawl, GRAL, nice setup there. So there's definitely some good looking stocks there. And then hammer reversals and other non medical stocks that look good. Keep an eye on these. I'll be watching AXTI. I am long DOCN. I took this hammer candle here, was quickly shaking out a half of it, but still holding the rest of the half, and it's looking good. Nice candle there. This is the only weed stock that I like right now, VFF. I really like this name. If it would have had a higher close than open, I would definitely be taking this long in my speculative swing account. Rivian, nice move off the 50, and I also showed you MU. So there are some hammers out there, and I'll show you a couple that I've taken recently. IDXX, I didn't get a hammer here, but it was a strong close. If we kind of combine it with the, this is kind of a not proper hammer, but I had to take IDXX off after this day, and it's working out because I did something silly with ISRG, a stock that I've been stalking. I got a hammer candle on this day. This is a $550 stock, and I didn't take it because it missed its 21 EMA by cents. I believe it was cents. We can actually look at it. 21 EMA, 536, the low 538. So by $2, I decided to pass on this name. Immediately regretted it because this is what I'm stalking, and it worked out. So IDXX, I took on the 21 EMA reclaim. So far, it's working out. And then QLYS is a recent 21 EMA trade that we took, and that one is working out, as you can see. But once again, I was shaking out a half. I put half my stop below yesterday's low a day, shook me out a half. The other half is working. But in really good markets, this won't happen. So I just want to show you what they look like and how they should work. Now, I did take one trade this week that immediately failed, but you'll notice not a medical stock, high quality stock, but it was basically because of the pocket pivot point surge off the 50 SMA, and the defense names were still holding up. I liked the relative strength line. It just didn't work out because of the overall market. Doesn't make me an idiot. Doesn't make the trade bad. I would take the setup again, but IDXX working and ISRG working, obviously, with the other medical stocks that I've shown you, with XLV, makes more sense. Now, if we want to talk about a market bottom, once again, let's go back to this. Looking for a follow-through day within the next 3 to 4 sessions. However, the 21 EMA will be death crossing or bearish crossing the 50 SMA. So I'm sure we're going to deal with a lot of chop. We don't have tech leadership. We have medical leadership. But what I really want to see before calling a bottom is the IBD put call ratio. It normally gets above 1.0 at real bottoms. It was above 1 back here. It was above 1 back here. It is not above 1 right now. Now, I don't know what the current, I got to wait for the paper to update, but as of the close yesterday, it was 0.79. And what's funny is that the day before it was 0.82 before the major sell-off. Also, if I don't get the over 1 in the IBD put call ratio, I normally like to see the VIX at least get above 30. We don't have that yet, but we do have a reversal candle. I always talk about after we start moving higher, once we get these, we got one here though, don't forget, we got one here, didn't matter, but here's one. I'm really kind of looking for something like this where you open up way outside of the previous day's range. You can see that reversal here marked a low in April. You can see opening up way outside of the up day in October, marked a short-term bottom. So we didn't quite have that today. So without the VIX being above 30, especially above 40, and the IBD put call above 1, it's hard for me to think that we have a bona fide bottom. And I saw on social media a lot of people saying that today's a bottom. So maybe they're talking about Bitcoin, and that's always possible. But for the market, I need a little bit more evidence. And speaking of that evidence, I just don't have quite the leadership. But all that being said, I do have 2 new long positions for everybody this weekend. I want to make it very clear, we are still under red flag conditions. Under green flag conditions, give me a grade A setup off a 21 EMA, and a stock. Let's see Dell. So let's pretend like Dell gives me this setup after we have a follow through day and we know that there's a leveraged ETF DLL. If I have 100% cash, guys, I have no problem using full margin, 200% of the available account capital in a 2x leverage ETF, which would basically get me 400% long DLL for a move in a few days of 21%. Sorry, guys, got to bring this one over. Of a 20% move. And that's how I am super aggressive. Under this market, I reduce size to 1R. Because of the EMBJ immediate failure, I reduce size a little bit further to keep the drawdown small and move it to 0.8R currently. So I have two new long positions. From the entry to the exit, I'll be risking a total of 0.8R of my total account capital on these trades. The first name I'll review is ONC. It was down on the day, but nice hammer candle off the 21 EMA. And I showed you a bunch of other stocks that bounced off the 21 EMA. Why am I taking ONC? ONC is an extremely high quality, slim quality biotech stock, and I was stalking it back here and was hoping it could make a cup with handle breakout to get long, but instead, cup breakout only, too extended, couldn't get my entry. This pullback here to the 21 EMA lines up basically with that breakout level. So I got the 21 EMA and breakout level. If it gets above the high of the day here, that will confirm this move. So with ONC, my game plan is to get long above 351.21 with a buy stop at 351.22. I'm still using a 2% limit offset because the ATR of the SPY is over 1. And I'll be calculating my size and risking just to today's low a day. So by risking just 0.8R of the account capital, I'll probably be able to get almost 20% of the account capital into this name, but I won't lose a full R. And let's say it opens up and does like when DOCN did and immediately squats. I'll put 50% of my stop below the low, or I'll put 50% of my stop below an actual close below the 21 EMA low, and then I probably will get shaken out of it, but I got to give the stock a shot. As a leader, it's pulling back on low volume. That's the most important thing with this 21 EMA bounce. So ONC is a new long above the high of the day, risking to the low of the day. I'm also going to take Jazz long. Now, here's the deal with Jazz. Jazz is also a medical biotech name. This was a huge, highest volume. Actually, I think this one was I don't know if it was highest volume ever. It clearly wasn't, but it was the highest volume in the past 5 years. So it was an HV5, HV1 based on positive phase 3 cancer news. And in this market, normally with this trade, if we were under a green flag, green light condition, good uptrend, my buy stop is 170.10. You do that, you get filled the next day, we're immediately up 6%. In this tape, I don't feel comfortable doing either the close or the high of the day. I'm looking for an inside hammer. I didn't get it, but it has since pulled back. Lighter volume each day. It is above average, but you got to understand it's stair stepping lower each day. I still had that max green balance of power, strong relative strength line. Now with this one, you could get long above the high of the day. That's what I'm doing at 177.81. And you can either risk to this low, risk to this low, and risk to this low. It's up to you. I'm going to risk 0.8R of my entire account capital to this low. Could also use this low. So I might do 0.4 to here, 0.4 to here, and split it up and figure out what the total size is. But Jazz and ONC are my two new long signals. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap the video lesson up here. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Keep an open mind about the market. I see a lot of super bearish and super bullish posts. It's really strange to me because we don't do that at Big Wave Trading. We stay neutral, and I suggest you do too. Once again, everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. Aloha.